Hi, this is Angel Jones. I love great conversations where life's journey is communicated not only through words, but tones and emotions. Explosive expressions that allow you to feel what they felt and learned. A fool learns only from his own mistake, while the wise learn from their own and from those others have made. Thanks for being here with us. Hi to all listeners. Great pleasure having a conversation with Tsang. Tsang, history of past being a stock analyst and now becoming an internationally acclaimed presentation skills expert. He's a keynote speaker and an Amazon best-selling author of From Presentation to Standing Ovation. Unlike many public speaking experts, Ron has an interesting way of just being truthful. And I strongly suggest you listen in and hear a bit more of Tsang. Good morning, Ron. How are you today?
I'm great, Angel. How are you?
I'm excellent, one. It's a great pleasure to have this conversation to share with our listening audience.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Excellent. So tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
I would say it's my passion for speaking. And I've been a speaker for a long time, but I wasn't always a good speaker.
Interesting. Who did you learn to speak from?
I would say that I learned to speak through my own struggles. And by learning, okay, here's the thing. There was a point in my life when I couldn't, even my own parents couldn't understand me. So my voice became deeper as I was growing hair in places that hair didn't grow before.
Yeah.
But also I was so shy. I was introverted, and I had braces with rubber bands on them, and I was a mumbler. And my own parents couldn't understand me. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but it's a horrible feeling when even your own parents can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. They keep asking you to repeat yourself over and over again. And it was out of that frustration of not being understood, not being heard, that I committed myself to becoming a serious student of speaking. And I studied from everyone I could study from. I modeled journalists and radio DJs. I studied professional speakers. I studied executive communication coaches, read a lot of books. And all those lessons have been distilled into what I teach now, what I coach on, and what I've written about in my book.
Interesting. Why will you continue to speak, especially professionally?
Well, a speaker actually saved my life. So my parents in the 1970s, they discovered that I had a very high-grade continuous fever when I was a baby. I was 1.5 years old, and I had this 103-degree fever, Fahrenheit, and then 40 degrees Celsius fever. The doctors at the hospital thought it was meningitis, but they ran these tests, and the tests were inconclusive. They did a spinal puncture. It was inconclusive. They ran antibiotics through an IV tube, and the antibiotics were ineffective, and the doctors didn't know what to do. So how do you think my parents must have felt? They were, as newborn parents, they were absolutely, as first-time parents with this newborn suffering from this fever that wouldn't go away, they were absolutely terrified.
Yes.
But then 2 weeks later, my symptoms changed. They noticed that my hands and my feet, the skin on my hands and my feet started to peel off like a glove. And they noticed that the skin on my lips and my tongue started to turn as red as a strawberry. So when the doctors noticed these symptoms, they realized that, well, they had just come back from a medical conference where they had heard a speaker at this medical conference share details about this rare new children's disorder, this new disease called Kawasaki disease. And the doctors turned to my parents. They said, we recognize these symptoms. It's a brand new disorder, brand new disease, and it causes a heart attack, severe inflammation. Your baby could die from a heart attack any minute now, but we can save him. And it's because of a speaker. The doctors did not keep his information to themselves. The speakers share information, doctors share information with the medical community, and that saves lives. So your message, no matter who you are, your message is more important than you know.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So it's what it speaks out to me is that you're saying that you are not speaking just as a skill as to speak, but to reach people. To reach people by changing their lives by the message that you bring. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Each and every one of us has a story to share. Each and every one of us has a message that others need to hear. Speaking it's a gift, and if you're not sharing that gift with others, then the world could be a better place if you shared your message and your gift with it.
Yeah. So tell us, other than speaking, what is one thing you've done consistently over the past 3 years?
Well, over the past 3 years, I've been consistently involved with different associations and different groups, people who are on the same path as me, people who are slightly ahead of me, and people who are slightly behind me. But we're all on that same journey. So I'm involved with two entrepreneurship groups, two groups of entrepreneurs, real heart-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneurs here in Toronto, Canada. One group is the Toronto Entrepreneurs of Passion and Purpose, and the other group is called Archangel, with a conference and an annual conference in Los Angeles. Great people, we lift each other up, and I think Jim Rohn has a quote saying that you're the product of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So
Yes.
if you surround yourself with people who are slightly ahead of your journey, on the same level, or slightly behind you, you help each other up and you learn from each other. So in addition to the 2 entrepreneurship groups, I'm also involved with Toastmasters. Are you familiar with Toastmasters, Angel?
Yes, there is a local Toastmasters in my country, Trinidad.
Fantastic. Toastmasters is a great supportive environment. I've been a member of 2 Toastmasters clubs for 15 years now. One of them is very advanced with professional speakers and aspiring professional speakers and professional trainers and coaches. And what I've learned from Toastmasters is actually the place for people to it's a place for people to learn and to grow comfortable in speaking. And I discovered a real love for training and for coaching others through Toastmasters. I was referred to speaking opportunities and training opportunities within the banks because people saw how much I loved and how good I was at speaking and training. So I definitely owe Toastmasters a great depth for allowing me to discover this passion and for allowing others to see this passion too.
Interesting. So if you needed to endorse what you do or have done, in fact, with the feelings that it has brought about, could you share how it makes you feel being part of these groups?
I feel amazing being part of these groups because I'm a sponge learning from people who are ahead of me in the journey, even people who are slightly ahead of me or even on the same level. And I feel great when I give back, when I share what I've learned with people who are on the same level as me or people who are slightly behind me in the journey. But we're all on the same journey together. So I feel like I'm part of something that's bigger than just me.
Why would you suggest that someone else do what you do?
Well, whether it's in terms of being part of an association or group, or if it's in terms of giving back and teaching others, I think there's so much value in building up our own community by learning from others outside of our immediate circle, from learning from people who are ahead of us, who are doing the things that we want to do, and also helping other people who are at the same level as you, or helping people who are on the same path as you but are not at your level yet. And that's really how we build sustainable communities, and that's how we make our own worlds better.
Yeah. Enter into the time machine with me. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Wow, I think that my earliest childhood memory was me. I was about 4 years old, and I was playing with this bright colored balloon. But it fell on the floor and became covered in dust. This balloon got dusty. So I followed my mom into the laundry room, and I wanted to help out. So I put this balloon into the washing machine so I can get it clean. And my mom didn't see me sneak in there and put the balloon in there. So as soon as she turned on the machine, you can imagine what happened. There's a loud
Pop.
bang. Exactly. Yeah. So that's probably my earliest memory, this balloon in the washing machine.
How old do you think you were?
I think I was probably about 4 years old. It's kind of hard for me to remember the Kawasaki disease story. I think I was a year and a half. But this
Wow.
balloon is probably the first thing I remember.
And why do you think this memory is so clear, other than the pop?
Well, there's two things. I think that it's the emotions that are strongest. We tend to have memories that are strongest when they're associated with emotions. And I think this emotion was probably fear. And that's probably why I remember it the most. I think that for a lot of us, fear is what holds us back, and it's a limiting belief. But I feel that in order for us to really advance, we don't have to be held back by fear. If we want to do anything bigger than what we're normally doing, we can and should overcome this fear. So don't let this fear of popping a balloon hold you back from doing your laundry, for example.
Yeah. So here we enter into something. My wife was having a discussion with me, a conversation, if you may, and she said that, this section reminds her of when you need to fill out your declaration form on an airplane. So you need to tick yes or no and then answer some. So here we go. Have you Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills and talents?
Yes.
Okay. Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Your favorite song when you were 12 years old?
Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
Sweet. So tell me, do you have an inner circle of friends, Ron?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day or 3 hours a week?
Probably not 3 hours a day, maybe 3 hours a week.
Is there anything you would like to share with our amazing listening audience in closing?
For your amazing audience, Angela, I would love to tell them about my book on presentation skills, on speaking skills. It became a #1 best-selling book on Amazon.ca, in Amazon Canada, and the title is From Presentation to Standing Ovation, 15 Actionable Ideas to Achieve Massive Influence. And Jack Canfield, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and the Success Principles, says, this book is full of valuable ideas and techniques for how to become a great speaker. I highly recommend it. So the book is called From Presentation to Standing Ovation, and your listeners can find out more by visiting standingovationbook.com. standingovationbook.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Again, that's standingovationbook.com, and we'll have that in the show notes. Ron, thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much for having me, Angel.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazon Enterprise.